と取れないわね。タタタターン。
この野郎。よーし。はい。丸見えですよ。まだだ。冷静に対応することだ。
Hey everyone, it's CurlyHairedHero and welcome back to Prince of Tennis 2005 Crystal Drive. This is actually going to be Season 6 of this. I can't believe I've been doing this basically the entirety of my YouTube career at this point. It was the first video I've ever uploaded, and now we're actually nearing the end of this because this will actually be the last season. There's not really much that's left for me to unlock or do in this game, so today we're actually going to start to go through the ultimate singles tournament here. Last time in season 5 we sort of made a big deal of the 100th episode and also went through and tried to unlock all of the members of the Hyote school, and we have them all here listed as you see. And through that, I actually went ahead and I used pretty much every single one of these guys in the game, in subsert, in doubles, or whatever the case may be. And if not, I've used them at some point in the past. For the most part, I think that's true for everyone except for this guy, good old Jiro, who we unlocked right at the end. He was the last remaining Hyote member that we need to unlock. So we're actually going to be using him today. He's pretty solid. His stats are all pretty much good to they're like all middle line to, like, 4. He doesn't excel on anything amazing, at least from what I saw. So we're gonna take him and try and go through the ultimate singles. Ultimate singles, unfortunately, is not going to be a walk in the park. Ultimate singles is one of the few tournaments where we're actually in hard mode, like actual hard mode, where the opponent actually fights back. This game basically only has 2 modes. It has an easy and a normal mode. Easy is like really dumb easy, and normal is just barely a step up from that. But hard mode is like the real deal, where it's like gloves off, it's time to get screwed. The main reason for that is the opponent actually plays really well, and they actually use their specials on point. Not to mention, the main thing that's let me get through this really easily is the fact that I was able to just basically spam my specials whenever I needed to, and win points. There's the infamous runs I've done with Ryoma in the past where I just plow through everything. Not to mention with Ryoma and with Otori and like everyone else, right? I can't really do that right now. Not to mention that Jiro doesn't really have the best specials for that. He doesn't really have any sort of like ground stroke winners that I can really make use of. He is a serve and volley player, so I can, for example, use my bars here to do a serve. That one's actually a fake, because once you'll see my other serve, I can actually make it to that point. He actually does an actual serve where he goes up to the net, and then he hits he hits a serve and then he goes up to the net, and you can actually hit a volley after that. Hence the serve and volley. He's sort of the first time that you ever see that in the series, I think. I don't know if there's anyone else in the series that actually has like an actual serve and volley style, but he's like the only one that focuses on that. I think part of it is just because like Prince of Tennis, when it came out, and I think in general in Japan, I think the methodology is that serve and volley was good back in the day, especially with like everyone being like, tall and strong and lean, all that stuff. It was really easy for them to focus on the serve, which was their easy shot, and they're just winning points off that, and if anything else, they can just run up and easily smack a winner. But tennis has sort of evolved to the point where it's a little bit more difficult to be a complete playstyle. You have to be more all around and try and hit all types of shots. But ideally, the ideal tennis player now is not only someone that can serve and volley, but someone also that is really good at the baseline and can also return serves, more importantly. Since just about everyone's at the point where they can do good serves, right? So Japan makes a big note of that, because I know they've talked about it a lot in terms of tennis. They made a good, they talked a good point about that, and then they did it also in Baby Steps. Baby Steps is a little bit interesting because there's a lot more sort of in depth into like the culture and the world of tennis, especially from like a more updated and realistic point of view, and taking a look more of the like professional side of tennis, whereas like Princess Tennis was just sort of like your introduction to tennis with like the basics, and it's just like, you know, a school team and all that stuff, but it has like all these superpowers and all that stuff, and like, oh, I'm the son of this man and blah blah blah, all that nonsense, right? Whereas like Baby Steps is like, no, I just fucking worked really hard. Shit's really tough, and I'm the champ now, kind of deal. And you actually go through everything. But that coach ability you just saw there is for Dan as the coach is fucking lame. The opponent, I've done a trial run of this, and the opponent actually did a really good job. The computer, I should say, they did a really good job at like using it. So basically, what you do with it, what you do with it is that you will go ahead and use it right before your opponent is. I don't know if it matters when you use it, but if it has to be right before or just during, you know, when you hit the ball, but it'll just knock your opponent flat on their ass. I might have talked about it before, but that's literally all it does. It just knocks you down. And if you time it just right, like right before I'm about to hit my shot, it's really hard for me to actually return it because I'm on the ground because of some dumb shit. I think the premise is that Dan runs into you, because I guess he does that in the series. It's crazy how much more even this match is than the test run I did. The test run I did was with a completely different character. It was who I believe is Muromachi Toji. Actually, no, this is who I'm facing. I'm facing against Muromachi Toji. The person I was facing off against was Minami Ketaro. He is the partner of Higashigata. And he is fucking... he was just destroying my shit. The main thing that he was doing, which I eventually picked up on it, because basically all of his other specials are all doubles based. So in a singles format, it doesn't really do anything. It's interesting that I'm facing two Yamabuki Cho guys in a row, or two attempts at it. I get two Yamabuki Cho, so I don't know if this is like something that's like specific to them or whatever the case may be. But in any case, I just kept getting wrecked because he kept doing this thing where he would serve. It's apparently called the straight shot serve, and it would literally go straight. It just goes straight, which is why I eventually learned how to like fight against it, because I would just have to do the two-handed shot basically as soon as he does the move, and then just be right in front of him, because you can't apparently aim it in any other direction, but it just goes straight. But it goes really fast. So that was kind of interesting. Whereas Muromachi here, we've just been going back and forth like crazy, and it's only like game 3, I believe, right now, so I'm actually have to play like actual tennis. Whereas, you know, Kentaro, maybe not Kentaro, no, just Kentaro, okay, I thought it was something else, I thought I was saying someone else's name. Anyways, meanwhile, he like completely destroyed me. It was like 5 games, and you see here, Dan's knocked me on my ass, motherfucker. I've actually started to get used to how this guy kind of controls. I don't know what it is, and at the beginning I was having a really hard time, but now I'm actually on my game. I probably upset Mamori here. Doesn't really have anything too threatening. Some of his shots, if they actually get to bounce, they can be kind of annoying. I'm sure you guys may or may not remember this. He is, I think, the second character that I ever used way back when, back in the day. Had a lot of fun with him. Haven't actually gotten to use him since, which might be a lie. I think I might have used him in one of the mixed match tournaments at some point as like a little throwback. But in any case, let's go ahead and see if we can close this out. I was gonna say, gone are the days where I get to do sometimes 9-minute episodes because I go through it so quickly, or episodes that are like just barely 10 minutes. It's gonna be more like those few. I think I can actually, yeah. It's gonna be like those few nationals videos that I have to upload where they were like dumb long and I couldn't actually get anything done in between because it was just a doubles match. So I was having the hardest time doing anything. Those videos were the worst because I think I uploaded an hour-long video, but in actuality it was like 2 to 3 hours of me actually playing. So the actual footage was that long. I just cut everything else in between, or like just stopped recording and then only recorded, you know, the last point when I was about to win, or the last game or something like that. Ooh, oh damn, that was a tight point there. We still have match point here. He's unfortunately in super mode, which lets him spam his move. Let's go ahead and see if we can use our Servant Valley Prowess here to help us do this. I've learned that apparently you can use the serve and it's basically free. It's when you actually do the volley afterwards that you actually have to pay meter in order to use it, which is kind of cool. So you can actually use that constantly to go up there and I guess move around. I haven't tried it. I don't know if it's like as soon as you press something he does the special volley version, but in any case, that was a really tight match. We managed to come back. We were, I think, 3-2 somewhere in the beginning, but now we're rallied all the way up to 6-3. We used the same exact number of special shots. That's how you know it was a good game. So speaking of the national doubles tournament, I apparently didn't do that at some point. I feel like I did, but I wanted to not do that on screen because I just mentioned how long it was. In doing so, I did a couple of other tournaments, and I've unlocked, mainly it was just Anne who I unlocked, I think because I used Tachibana, but I also managed to unlock Neo, who is a member of the Hikai. You know, you would think by season 6 I'd be able to say these guys' names. Hikai. Oh, there's no D in there? Oh, I thought it was like Rikidiki or something like that. Why the fuck have I been saying that for so long? It's just Rikai Daikaku. Rikai Daikaku. Rikai Daigaku. There we go. I don't know why I've been saying their name so badly all the time. But anyways, he's one of those members from that school, which we're actually almost done with. But let's actually move on to the next match here. See who we're going to face in the second round, or as I always call it, the quarterfinals. The ultimate singles. Oh, actually going to beat Taka. Well, this should be an easy match. Takamura is relatively easy, especially on clay. Maybe not so much on clay, because clay just means that the ball is going to travel a little slower and bounce a little less. So it actually gives him, it's actually a little bit better for him because he does not move around a lot. He does hit the ball hard, so he might not actually be able to do too much. The ball might be too slow, but we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens when I do this, because I don't have enough bar at the moment to do anything afterwards. Okay, cool, so I can just come up here and just move around. Okay, cool beans. Now that I've wasted those 2 points, let's go ahead and actually play this game here, see if we can get through Taka pretty easily. Yep, as I figured. He is not very difficult, just because he is very, very clunky. I'm always reminded of this quote from Maria Sharapova, one of the more famous tennis players. But she notoriously is really bad on clay, and she quoted herself as saying, "Like, yeah, I'm like a cow on ice skates out there," because she's just this giant tall woman just trying to go side to side constantly with all these low spins and all the crazy nonsense that happens on clay courts, and she just cannot do well. Whereas, you know, if it's on hard court, she does extraordinarily well most times, because she can just slam that shit really hard and do a lot of crazy angles, given her, you know, height and the way that she plays. But other than that, there's not really any way to do that on clay. Let's see if we can get through this guy relatively easily here. I just have to do a lot of the sort of basics of tennis, where it's just hit the ball the opposite side where the guy is, and then he'll run to that way and try and hit it. But he does have a lot of these specials that are going to break my racket, because if I can take a look here, you know, I don't know why he's breaking my racket. My grip is actually not half bad. I think it's just because of the fact that he's just hitting them really hard, because Judo's grip is actually on 4. So I should be able to tank some of these, so I guess I've just been unlucky. See if we can get this. Ooh, not as far as I wanted it to be. Let's get this one on the other side. Oh, he's actually going to move up. Playing a little serve and volley himself, but I'm just going to smash it through him. See if I can get this break of serve here. Have a awakening mode ready to go, but I will save it for my service game. So that now I can go ahead and go into awakening mode and go ahead and try and close this game out, because this is actually going to be a little bit further ahead. This is now 5-3. It was a really tough one, just because there were certain times where CurlyHairedHero would just get his special and just fucking wreck my shit constantly, and it really sucked. Because there were too many times where I just wasn't able to return it, but I don't know if it was just RNG or what it was. Eventually I got able to actually hit his shots back. He is one of the few characters where, even though it's on hard mode, I can actually cheese him with my special, just because his movement is pretty bad. But if I had like a different maybe special, you can probably actually be able to catch up to it. Much like I tried something new last time, or at least for the 100th episodes or so, I'm trying something a little bit new here, where I sort of split up, cut around some of the footage and splice some of the episodes together. What would usually be 2 episodes is now 1. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't, you know, everyone doesn't hate it. So yeah. He did surprisingly not as many special shots as I did, but I did sort of, I think I kind of cheat in the where, or this system kind of cheats me, I should say, where my serve counts as a special shot even though it really isn't. But damn, that one was a good game. And then, you know, we just have the semifinals and the finals, which we'll take on next time. Take care of yourself.